How are the arches getting there?
The arches are actually coming in, that's a great question, and they're in 9 sections. And so they're roughly 30 to 40 feet in length so that we can put them on a flatbed truck. So they will be assembled, some of which on the ground and then lifted up. And there'll actually be a set of what we call falsework, kind of this ugly plywood stuff you see here, a different truss system underneath the arch to support it while we erect it. So we'll be holding our breath as we put that in. So it has a forgiveness of like 1/4 of an inch. So we have to be very precise in how we do that.
Where are they being built?
Out in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, there's a big steel mill there that's used for many bridges in the upper Midwest. And they do really classy work. So that's where those are being manufactured right now. So.
It's foreign steel.
It's Green Bay Packers steel.
Do they like us?
No, I almost want to give them a quarterback. I won't get into that. So, all right, any other questions?
This morning,
Right now on site, there's roughly about 50.
She let me hold it.
And the really neat thing is we're up at around 30% versatility, which is really good. And they're our hardest workers, so that's really neat. So we have a nice mix of both working and stockers. Anything else?
Actually, the Camden Bridge, what's left? Paint job?
That was actually a City of Minneapolis project, so the only way I can report on that is driving over and looking at it. So unfortunately, I don't have a lot of good feedback other than I saw City of Minneapolis cruised out doing some striping or something like a week ago when I drove over it. So it looked like it's all open, obviously, and I'm sure they're just doing some more finishing. So.
Yeah, that's it. Danny?
All right. Well, thank you for.
Commissioner, while we have you, anything?
Well, I just want to talk a little bit more. Paul, a great presentation. And for all of them, many of you were involved in the pre-meetings for this bridge and what the community wanted to see. And I clearly believe that we accomplished it. Folks who live in Northeast and North Minneapolis wanted to make sure they were on a bridge when they're on this thing. Because when you go over Broadway or Plymouth, you really don't know you're on a bridge. You know you're over water, but you're not on a bridge. And this one you'll know. If you can see it, the approach there, it's a very interesting, handsome design. And in terms of context and relationship, if you were to superimpose the old Warren Trust Bridge next to that one's almost 2.5 times taller than the old bridge. So it's going to be a magnificent site. And it's going to be something that the north side and northeast typically don't get out of public works projects. But we made sure we're getting this one. The arches are going to be coated with some type of a material that will reflect light nicely. So with LED technology, we'll be able to light that video. You have to just put any color and want to light it up. So in Vikings games, it could potentially be a great bridge. And Valentine's Day would be So it was, we're a big county, but a $100 million project is a huge thing to swallow even for us. So it's been a challenge. I'm glad we were able to get the funding to complete the entire bridge. I'm sure you're real glad we were able to get it all done. Because the only alternative would have been, if we were to wait a few years, is to close the whole thing down again to build the other bridge. The other bridge, where the crib wall was on the west side and the north side, was failing. And that essentially is going to be another bridge, which will open up all that land underneath for trails and for things. It won't be that solid berm anymore. It's going to be, it won't be a fancy bridge like that. It will be a girder bridge. But I'm looking forward to it being open. I really am. And it's not going to make the noise that the old one did. My daughter called it the singing bridge when we went over there. She was truly distraught until we blew it up.
Yeah, we went over it the last day just to listen.
Yeah,
one last time.
Yeah. I got a little square of that with the engineers.
Talk to me, Lowry rebuild, does that segue into the bridge, or is that on hold, or? you know,
Technically, the bridge was always a separate project than the Lowry Community Works project. If those of you who've been to the west side and the north side, you've seen what we've done over there. And all in my whole planning, you know, there's 7 of us up there, and we all kind of politically jockey for things. In my planning to rebuild Lowry, I wasn't planning on swallowing a new bridge. That was going to kind of probably be my successor's problem. But as fate had it, we get in the bridge. So the east side of the river's Lowry Avenue is still a plan.
Right.
And it's still an active community works plan in the county. I got to assemble the money for it.
So would that be the next segment of Lowry?
Yeah,
Okay, so Lowry on the west is.
it's done. And then we got a library coming, spring of 2011. For those of you who you'd have to not be on this planet to not know that thing has been tore up. And I think, you know, you see it coming together, and you know, I think from now on it'll go quickly because they got some of the hard stuff done. But I think some of the interesting things that we were able to accomplish, I'll give all this credit to my assistant, Carrie Dietzig, is the medallion from the Carnegie Original Library was saved. The huge oak tree out front of the library was salvaged. And they're going to make that kind of stuff out of the furniture in the library. So, Carrie, it's a huge thank you for following that up. And, you know, my goal is to get a new library put in there, and Carrie had enough foresight to say, well, we got to save some of this stuff. And we are. So that's going to be kind of exciting. That's part of this whole debate that we have at the county now about public art. Who's paying for it? That's some of the public art where the money's going to go.
Is it the same size or is it bigger?
Bigger, a lot bigger. How much bigger is it, Gary?
It's not double, but they did add a significant expansion from the meeting room, and then before it used to come out here and then drop back, and now it's kind of more even out. So.
And it's going to be a 21st century, library. It's as you all know, the Hennepin County took over the Minneapolis system and was able to open it up again all more hours. So it'll be wired for more computer terminals and fiber optically and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a new building for the future.
It might be at least double the number of computers
Yeah.
that they have.
So those are some exciting projects. Very exciting.
And I can give Tom credit, he pushed down the tree too, so it wasn't just me.
A lot of people were interested in it. But you did it, Gary.
You did it. I mean, you followed up on it,
remembered
Gary.
the
Yeah.
tree.
Everybody in the county knew when I was calling on it, the tree.
Yeah, I looked at that oak tree and just thought of firewood, but Gary looked at it.
Yeah.
Furniture first.
The library's warm.
Are there any other projects we can look forward to?
Well, Lowry Avenue will be a huge thing to watch for. We'll be resurfacing Marshall. And for those of you who live up where Bernie lives, Silver Lake Road, I think, turned out to be quite a success. We rebuilt that.
Wonderful, just
Up
wonderful.
in St. Anthony Village. And for those of you who have not been to Silverwood Park, up in go there.
Yeah.
It's an incredible amenity. It's right up Silver Lake Road. So it's great to be here.
Any questions?
So, does he have to find funding now to do the Log Avenue thing here? So that's been pushed off?
Until I find funding for it. It's never canceled because I won't let it be canceled. As long as I can.
And what can you be more specific about what is the plan?
Well, we'd have to do a scoping plan to see which side of the street to take. Have you seen the north side? We widened that out. We essentially took out blocks of. So the next step would be to do a scoping plan and see which is the most feasible side to work on. I have an idea.
So you do want it to be like the other side?
It depends, not exactly, but it has to work. In conjunction with that.
That,
There are some intersections over here that need to be stopped. Like you need to work it.
State University has a higher crash rate than what is typical, so that intersection is a lot of trucks, so that intersection is key because of the higher crash rate. And then Central, of course, has economic development potential. And then Second Street, again, with all the, Second and Marshall with all the truck traffic.
Yeah, essentially from Central to the river is the most need. From Central to Johnson is next, and above Johnson is really not natural.
So, Mark, how long does it take to swallow the $100 million bridge
before you can start the scoping project.
Well, to give you an idea, the entire north side was only $30 million.
From North Memorial down to the river.
So it's we took a big bite on the bridge, and we have money. I think we have some money left over from north to start a scoping project, so we can do that.
So you're probably aware that Hennepin County is working with the city of Minneapolis and trying to resite the south transfer station and put in household hazardous waste. Does that play into the Lowry and the traffic at University? And I mean, do all those groups work together?
Well, it doesn't necessarily. I mean, it's not part of the Lowry corridor community works project, but we'll certainly look at traffic studies and what that could potentially be. But I don't envision garbage trucks going to that there. At all.
Well, they will if the incinerator's down. That's our
Well, I'm in
understanding.
the south, so they will. No, I'm here. So my successor might. Did you hear that?
I heard that.
Ain't happening.
That was in the back of the room, right?
What else?
I noticed there was a house that was bulldozed along Lowry Avenue. I was wondering if the county acquired that.
You know, they're given directions to acquire whatever. Yeah, you can take them out. Has it, Carrie?
I know if it's the one that's down.
They had blue paint on the front,
Yeah,
I think.
I think they're working on that.
Yeah, it's already cleared.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if it was the county that acquired it.
I live a block and a half off Lowry,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of tired properties on Lowry.
I think that initially was, we were working with him on that one. So,
Did the county acquire the former Little Jack site?
No.
yeah, it starts working.
Well, we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
Stable.
So,
Also today on Lowry and University, Stanley's opens up.
That today?
Yeah, it's announced tomorrow, but today it's they're open. They just
It looks great. The outside of that place looks fantastic. There's exciting things happening in Northeast. I'm a Northeast Lion, and I was talking to Mr. Higgins there, and we volunteered to pour beer at that Oktoberfest down at the Gas Stop House. Man, the action that goes on like University Avenue is incredible. I'm kind of an old bogey, so I don't go out running around anymore.
I don't either. I don't
Saturday night, it was awesome. From University to 13th, Jack's was full. Isn't it? It's bad.
I live doors off University.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and people coming out of that bar at 2 o'clock in the morning,
And go stop.
yelling, heads up.
Yeah.
Busloads of people.
They're packing in.
Madam?
I was just looking with the title, After the Bridge, What's in Store for Central and Lowry. With all the business folks here, is there any concerns or any expectations of what the bridge improvement, how it's going to affect residents and business here?
Absolutely none at all.
None.
Well, it's
Well,
certainly
hurt traffic,
it will
that's why.
increase traffic. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, has it been pretty hard for businesses with especially both bridges being down? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that's what I presume.
with both bridges down, we were down almost 45-50%
Yeah.
sales.
What is that car count at Marshall and Lowry, on Lowry?
Gary, do you know
the
that?
bridge was about 16,000 a day on the bridge festival. So it's about, the most economic impact based on the number of trucks. It was about 18 million hit to the local economy. 18 million a year. Because it was that 1,500 to 1,600 a lot of trucks from the showroom yards and then back to 294.
And what's that car count on Lowry and Central? Is that down too?
Well, Central was pretty busy because it's a wrong side.
But the east-west,
Oh,
you know,
right.
the east-west.
Yeah, because they may be coming there and then going to Broadway, so it's not.
I think they're still coming. They're just taking
Yeah.
into account of the Broadway Bridge.
Is there an